one of those old, like, toy things, like the picture binoculars that you cycle through different images. Huh. Doesn't it? It looks like one of those, like, 80s, like, or 90s retro picture style.
Oh, yeah.
The slideshow.
I forget what those are called.
You're older than me. You should know what that's called.
Look.
Pictonocular.
Something like that. Hi!
Pictovision.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hey-o.
Welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is Awesome Hardware. You're watching right now, episode 199. We're getting awful close to 200. I actually don't think we could be any closer than we are now.
Probably not.
Except maybe at the end of this show.
We should start doing half episodes.
This is side B of episode 199. This is a live show. We talk about technology. We stream every Tuesday evening. We start at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and we split the show in half. In the first half, we already did on Kyle's channel. It's linked in the description if you want to check it out. We talked about lots of interesting things.
We did. Yeah.
I don't remember any of them.
No.
No, I mean I remember some of the stuff.
They were so interesting they blew our minds and can't recall anything.
Other than that, though, we also drink a beer or two or three on the show, so feel free to join us. Please drink responsibly. Only do so if you are responsible. But cheers. I'm supposed to say that before I drink, but
or if you're
you guys get the
irresponsible.
point. We also occasionally use adult language, so please keep an eye out for that.
Or near.
Or near. And don't watch if you don't like a few naughty words going around from time to time. But we're all adults here.
Naughty, naughty.
This is adult entertainment.
I'm an adult.
On YouTube and Twitch. We also stream to twitch.tv/awesomehardware. So thanks to all you guys who are watching on Twitch or on YouTube. If you're here live, we love you all so much. A quick aside right here, and this is I only want to give this the lightest of plugs because I don't.
Why? Why would you give it the lightest of plugs? It's for a good cause.
Because I don't like to place too much expectations on things. Anyway, I did a charity live stream on Friday. Was that 4 days ago, give or take? And we were aiming to raise $4,000. We didn't quite get there, but we did we did get around $3,250. I think we're now up to around $3,400. I posted a recap of the stream on my YouTube channel earlier today. So anyway, if you guys are interested, check that video on my stream, and you can still go to the Extra Life donation page. We were raising money for the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles via Extra Life, so you can go there and you can click donate, and you can maybe help us get to 4,000.
Wait, did you say it's on your? Is it in your?
It's
YouTube?
not. It's not linked in the YouTube description on Twitter or for this
on YouTube.
Awesome Hardware live stream. I apologize. I did not include that. We were trying to get ready for the show.
You're gonna make me click 3 times to find the link.
You're gonna have to click like 3 times. You're gonna have to go to my video. It's linked. It's above the fold in the description, though.
Wow.
Anyway, if we happen to get to $4,000 while we're live tonight, which again I'm not expecting, and I don't.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for the camera? You gonna strip tease? You gonna eat a banana sideways? What's in it for us besides helping children be cured of diseases and being a good person? Like, what's that? What's that about? How's that fulfilling?
I will congratulate everyone. I'll give a hearty congratulations.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And I'll finish whatever drink I'm drinking.
Okay. All right. That's kind of what I was hoping for. It's what I had in mind.
Fair enough. I don't want to. Okay. One last plug.
All right.
After you've donated to the Extra Life charity, if you've got more money, you can buy stuff on our stores. PaulsHardware.net is my store. I have shirts, mugs, pint glasses. It's all super nice gear. Of course, we are veering you towards the Extra Life donations, of course, but feel free to do this as well. If you happen to buy stuff from the stores while we're live, we will give you a shout out during the after party, which is coming up and linked in the video's description as well.
Hey-o.
Kyle's store is bitwit.tech/store. He also has super nice merch. So check it out and feel free to buy some if you want to.
Please do.
Yeah.
We love you.
Beyond that, I have 2 segments for you guys today. The first one is going to be a continuation of the technology news. Indeed.
Beautiful.
I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at what Kyle's doing right there.
Nope. I'm definitely not doing anything. Go away.
First bit of news here comes from WCCF Tech. This is a Hassan Mujtaba. Mujtaba?
Hassan!
Anyway, what up, Hassan? I've met him a couple times. Anyway, WCCF Tech is occasionally known for posting stories that are in the rumor and speculation side of things. This one is certainly that, at least to a degree. We're maybe potentially on the lookout for a 2080 Ti Super, because NVIDIA has already released super versions of their 2060 and their 2070 and their 2080, and even though there's not a lot of competition up in that range, there has been some rumors about some bigger chip Navi cards that AMD might be dabbling with. And,
Sure.
you know, maybe NVIDIA's just cool, and they have better cards to launch, and so they're going to launch them, even if they're only competing with themselves. Who knows? Or maybe they'll just launch it and charge more money than they already charged for a 2080 Ti. Or maybe this is all bullshit. Maybe that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of bullshit.
I like rallying behind people who say things are bullshit.
You're right. That's entirely possible. But what we have is another GPU based on TU-102, and the source of this information is IDA64. The Extreme Beta version 6.00.5151 released on August 14th, within the past week. It added support for an unknown graphics card based on NVIDIA's TU-102. The graphics card in question is named the GeForce RTX T10-8.
Hot damn.
Yeah. That's probably
me on.
a code name or a
I won't lie.
placeholder or something like that. But if NVIDIA is going down this road, I think it'd be really interesting. I think all of the manufacturers, like Intel's going crazy with their 5-digit plus names for their CPUs.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Might as well.
it'd be awesome if NVIDIA just started doing like George Lucas in film school names for his movies or something.
I don't.
You get
I have no idea. What would he name his?
THX1151 or whatever that one was called.
Oh.
THX.
Oh, so they were just like Lian Lee case names.
Yeah.
83987 C3PO was that one of them? C3PO R2D2.
Let's see. Student films. THX1138 was his 1971
What a classic.
film. Anyway, some of his earlier movies were just like strings of letters. and
Did that
numbers.
have anything to do with the audio company, the remastering?
Yeah,
company?
THX.
Yeah.
That's where the name THX came from.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Bit
Fun facts.
of side information
Fun
there. Didn't know that was going to come out.
facts.
There are other TU-102 GPUs that are out on the market right now. The RTX 2080 Ti, of course, as well as the RTX Titan. So it would stand to reason that since NVIDIA was able to add some extra sauce to their 2080 and 2070 and 2060, they should be able to do the same thing to the 2080 Ti, with the advantages of faster memory that's available now. GDDR6 16 gigabit per second has been implemented in some cards. So that's a possibility. We also have like the CUDA core count and everything. Where'd that go? There was a chart in this article, wasn't there? Yes. Chart. Thank you, Hassan, for including a chart.
Hassan.
But Hassan, why isn't the RTX Titan on this chart? Anyway, RTX 2080 Ti is over on the right, so you can see certain things about it, like the CUDA core count, 4,352. The RTX Titan, or the T-Rex as it's affectionately known, has 4,608 CUDA cores. So like just under 300, 260 more-ish. I can't do math in my head that fast.
I won't attempt.
Thereabouts. So you could see a special edition 2080 Ti Super, or whatever you want to call it, having a CUDA core count between 4,352 and 4,600 and... I lost the number. 4,608.
608.
That's a possibility. You could potentially see an updated juiced 2080 Ti Super with maybe 12 gigs of GDDR6 instead of the 11 gigs that the 2080 Ti has. And that would also mean that the memory bus would be expanded, because the RTX Titan uses the full memory bus because it populates all the memory slots. So you have whatever number of 32-bit memory controllers equals a 384-bit bus on the 24 gigs versus the 352-bit bus that we've got with 11 gigs with the 2080 Ti. Bump that up to 12 gigs, you would also increase the memory bus, so you get more memory bandwidth. Possibly
Makes
higher
sense.
clock speeds. All of this stuff. So NVIDIA, it seems, clearly has the capability of making a bit better 2080 Ti. How much money would it cost? I don't know. They currently supposedly sell the 2080 Ti for $1,000, although it's very hard to find at that price. You can get it for just above that, but right at $1,000,
Yeah.
like you have to like follow EVGA and find out when they post them, which they do from time to time. But they might just price it at $1,000. They could price it officially at $1,200, and the 2080 Ti being at $1,000. They could like lower the prices for all the top cards in their product stack, just to make fans happy and get some positive. No, they're not going to do that.
Or make fans really mad for buying the more expensive version of the card.
I can say that just so people will be pissed off when it doesn't happen. Like, what if they just made the 2080 Ti $800 and the 2080 Ti Super $1,000?
You know how much?
And then they took the 2080 Super down to $600, and they took the 2070 Super down to $450.
Why would they do that?
And then the 2060 Super down to be more competitive with the 5700 and 5700 XT.
You're a terrible businessman.
I know, I'd be
if
bad.
If you're thinking that
would be
that fondly of the
if
customer.
I was the CEO of NVIDIA, that would be a horrible business decision.
Yeah.
Unless all I cared about were people loving me. And maybe somewhere in his heart of hearts, Jensen just wants people to love him, and he's considering something like this. I really don't think that's the case.
And that's why he wears a leather jacket, because he wants to feel the warm embrace of something wrapped around his body.
That's true.
Really, it's just a cold piece of leather.
Falls right in line there.
Mutilated.
Some dead cow. Skin. Oh.
It's the life of a CEO.
All right.
Multi-billionaire.
So keep an eye out, guys. If we hear anything more about the existence of a 2080 Ti Super, we'll let you know. As of now, it's just an entry in the IDA 64 beta software.
Wah, wah.
All right, let's move on. Next, we have some info from Hot Chips. Hot Chips 31 to be specific. Going on, I believe it's still going on right now.
Hot Chip sounds like a fun event just because of the name.
It does kind of
sounds like
fun.
Something that would take place in Vegas. It sounds like it could be a Vegas event.
They also had a
completely unrelated to
Hot
tech.
Wings event at Hot Chips where people were eating hot wings, which sounded kind of yummy.
A lot of things are hot.
Yeah,
that you could integrate there. Okay.
Anyway, Hot Chips. I don't know how to describe Hot Chips. I've never actually been there.
It's just naked women.
It's a little bit more in depth. It seems like they have a little bit more like enterprise and server type stuff, and database stuff, but some pretty crazy stuff there as well. What I'm talking about here, first of all, is called the DPU for DRAM, a data processing unit. A CPU is a central processing unit. This is basically a
CPU
processor on your memory. We put a processor on your memory.
No.
We heard you like processors,
No.
so we put a processor on your memory so your memory can process its memory while it processes.
Nah. Exhibits RAM.
Something like that.
Exhibit to
I'm
develop
probably oversimplifying it or something like that. This is all right. So this is being talked about by multiple companies apparently. UPMEM is the one that actually has a demo that this article is based on, and it's written by Dr. Ian Cutress. And it's kind of interesting because the basic premise is talking about about power usage. And if you want your processor to process something, it's in the memory. You got to move it from the memory to the processor. Processor has its own memory. It's called a cache in the processor, and that can handle certain things, but it also has certain limitations. Basically, it takes a lot of power just to move the stuff from the memory to the processor in order to do calculations on it, in order to process the data. Whereas there are simple calculations, there are simple functions that could be handled in the memory if you had a basic processor that was integrated, so that is what they have done. Yeah.
Huh.
Simpler operations like bit shifts or AND operations can be done on the memory itself using what is called in-memory processing, or processing in memory. Just because they didn't want to call it IMP, apparently, so they called it PIM.
Is that really why?
I don't know, but what they're calling it is PIM. Right? It's PIM.
Which is dangerously close to pimp.
Well, pimp. You should pimp your memory. Is really what they should be going for here. UPMEM, if you're watching right now, pimp. Add a P on there.
Better to offend the pimps of society than the imps of society.
Processing in
People
memory.
listen to the imps.
Processing in memory, please. Processing in memory.
You only listen to a pimp if you're a hoe.
we need to figure out a good way to finish that
Yeah, we
acronym
need
with
to
the
help
final
them
P.
out.
But
And
anyway,
processing in memory process.
processing protocol. Processing
Protocol.
in memory protocol.
Yeah, there it is.
You can put protocol on anything.
Come on.
Thank you.
Come on. Finish the
Red
acronym.
James Master 65,
Oh,
as well
nice.
as That's Male Fighter and Twitch for throwing that out there. This is the pimp your DRAM is what UPMEM is trying to do. They've developed a data processing unit, or DPU, that is built into the DRAM chip itself. So it's actually it's just part of the chip. It's not even like you need an extra chip on there, right? Like if you look at the memory, you've got memory modules here.
Yep.
The processor is part of the memory module. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's just built into
Okay.
it right there. So it's
Doesn't
not
encroach on
it's
the
not necessarily
PCB.
going to look any different or
right.
anything like that. There's some current concerns in the article about power usage. There is something like 20 watts of power draw per DIMM, which is on the high side for that. But overall upshot here is that like a 20%, right? Yeah, there's like a 20% increase in performance. The article goes into far more depth and talks about stuff that I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. What? You're joking, really?
What?
Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Sal, I see you.
Oh, wow.
I see you. Hold
How?
on just a moment. That's insane.
What?
You bastard.
What? I didn't do it. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
The demo that they actually showed at the show had an overall gain in power efficiency of just under 20 times. And if you work in the data center world,
That's a lot.
that's significant and that's important.
Power savings.
Each memory chip has a certain number of DPUs in it. Each DPU has access to 64 megabytes of DRAM in the demo that they were showing. So a 4 gigabit DDR4 200 chip could embed 8 DPUs into 512 megabytes of DDR4. The DPUs run at 500 megahertz. They plan to put 16 of these 4 gigabit chips onto a single DDR4 RDIMM module, so that would give you an 8 gig module.
Wow.
So you have an 8 gig stick, but then you have 128 DPUs, or DRAM processors, in
pretty crazy.
in each one there, and those can handle certain functions, certain basic processor functions on the memory. Again, article much more detailed and by Ian, who's a doctor and knows more about stuff than I do.
He is a doctor.
There's some good questions involved as well about the hardware being used and everything like that. But sort of an interesting concept, an interesting thing, and let's
Very
move on.
cool.
All right, Cerebras Systems. This is also from Hot Chips, by the way. Oh wait, no. All right, I'm gonna talk about that after news. This is the last news bit, and I'm gonna talk about that. All right, Cerebras Systems has made this processor right here. That's a processor.
Why so big?
Note the keyboard.
Yeah.
Note the processor.
Is that
right next
a
to it.
microscopic keyboard?
No.
Oh.
This is a normal size keyboard.
Oh wow. Then
This-
that's a very big processor.
This is the processor right here. It has 1.2 trillion transistors. It is a processor that is made for AI, and it is the largest single chip ever, apparently.
What?
Although, again, the article references some other implementations. This is made for AI because AI training takes a really long time with traditional chips, and they wanted something that was specifically designed for deep learning. 46,225 square millimeters of silicon. It's manufactured on a 16 nanometer process from TSMC. You notice it says 400,000 AI optimized cores. 400,000. So you have like right now we have we've got the 8 core and the 12 core from AMD. We're excited about the 16 core coming up. This has 400,000 cores.
The fudge.
400,000. And they're not very specific. They won't actually tell you the exact number of cores in this, because if you know anything about how they manufacture processors, they're manufactured on a wafer, and wafers have inconsistencies. There might be, I forget what the exact term for it, but there can be problems in certain areas in the wafer that means certain chips are not viable. That's why with wafers you have what's called yield. How many chips are good and functional and can work for what they're designed for how many have some sort of error in them and have to be tossed aside or
Right.
used for other like lesser and lower end products where they have certain functions turned off or something like that. If your entire wafer is the single CPU,
It's got to be perfect.
then you're pretty much guaranteed to have some abnormalities in there that are going to cause errors. But
Not perfect.
in order to deal with that with this design, they have redundant processing cores. That's why they say there are over 400,000 cores, but they won't tell you exactly how many because
are
it probably
active.
varies from chip to chip.
Yeah.
Because there's certain cores that they're like, all right, that core's not working. It's got
I
an
see.
I/O fabric that connects one core to the next that can route around any defective cores.
I see.
And I know what you're thinking. How do you cool this thing, right? There's a dude holding it right
A
there.
pool.
You need a really large Hyper 212, I think. You need a Hyper
A hanger.
2 million.
Hyper 213.
Hyper 2,012,000. There it is next to a baseball.
Oh, that's how you cool it. Oh,
You just put a baseball next
baseball
to it.
cooling.
They use a cold plate attached above the silicon using multiple vertically mounted water pipes to cool the chip directly.
Water pipes.
Unfortunately,
so they're
there's no
liquid cooling
picture
this
of that.
thing.
Yeah,
That
they use
sound
water
risky.
pipes. It sounds like they're yeah.
I hope they didn't have a
Got
tech.
to liquid cool it, and it's for AI. So this is the chips that will be artificially intelligencing its way
demise.
into replacing humanity. I would assume.
Yay.
Uh,
That's our debt. That's our.
I know.
That's our god.
All right, so guys, I've been told told in chat
What?
by Cell
What?
that oh my gosh,
Huh?
we've hit the goal.
What?
Sweet mother of mercy.
Holy
Look at that, you
mother
guys.
of mercy.
We're over $4,000.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
That's beautiful.
I thank you so much, everyone who
guys are
chipped in.
Monsters.
You guys are really, really super awesome.
Monsters.
I'm gonna go down. I hope there's nothing here that's
Sensitive.
too sensitive for people. Look, Kyle dropped $500.
Oh,
Kyle,
oh my god.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you know.
Thank you so much
Of
for
course. Yeah.
that. Kyle,
Tax write-off.
JJ5 Cool, Eric E, Alex, Douglas Bowen, Hugo,
Taxes.
Baby Fark McGee Zax. Oh my
Wow.
gosh, with the $100 donation. Thanks to all you guys.
Diggity.
I don't know. We got Anonymous, Sebastian, Jonathan
Wow.
Ross. Again,
Even the hacker
I
group.
feel bad. I don't know if anyone put information here that they don't want shared, so I don't want to keep scrolling too much. But
Better
thanks to all
tape,
you guys.
sorry.
Eric E, AJ Thompson, Larceny. Thank you guys so much. It's great to hit
That's
that
amazing.
goal.
A lot of $100 donations.
It's a great cause. The Children's Miracle Network is what Extra Life has. It's like one of their primary donating charities that they donate to.
Mm-hmm.
So Children's Miracle Network has hospitals around the country. So when you sign up, it's like, oh, what's your local hospital? So that's why we're doing the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Yep.
Because that's where we are.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys so much, really. Cheers.
course.
Oh, and I thought I said I was gonna.
Thanks for organizing.
I got to pound the rest of my beer.
Beautiful.
So.
That you do. I'm gonna wuss out since I have to drive.
Delicious.
A man of his word, everybody.
Hey, I gotta follow through on that kind of thing.
Keep it real.
Okay, we have one other segment to talk about.
Okie dokie.
There was a lower thirds for it, but
Oh, lower thirds. Is this a new segment? Have we done this one before?
I thought we had a segment, so I made a lower thirds, which is here, which is called YouTube News,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird, and I spent way too much time on this stupid lower thirds.
Oh
I don't
my
know
God.
why.
It
What?
looks like you made it with an MS Paint.
Shut up. I don't know why it just kept looking terrible no matter what I would do.
Wait, why don't you just follow the normal standard
I don't know. 'Cause
format?
I opened it up and
What's with the font?
The font looked weird. I don't know. I changed it, and then I
How's it look?
realized that we already had the tubes. The tubes, and I should have just stuck
Shitting on
with
the tubes.
So
That was
we're
way
gonna-
better. Look at that.
Yeah, we got the tubes. We got the yak on there, whatever the hell that guy is. So we're gonna stick with the tubes.
Good old yak. Yeah.
Anyway,
what's the
this
yak?
is all news stories that are related in some way or shape or form
To yaks.
To YouTube.
Oh, to YouTube.
We stream to YouTube. You guys watch YouTube, presumably. So maybe
Eh.
you're interested in some of this stuff.
Let's see it.
Let's start off with the
I'm somewhat
copyright
involved.
changes which have been made. Did you hear anything
I
about
feel like
this?
that happens every other month. No, what's going
Well,
on
we
now?
talked about some of this last month, but they've made some more changes to their manual copyright strike process.
What?
Excuse me.
More takedowns?
Well, the article is warning that it could result in more takedowns.
No.
This is sort of a follow-up article,
No.
but I also wanted to talk about, like, what they did originally, which was talked about in a blog post on the YouTube Creator blog, which is over here. All right, so let's talk about what they actually changed. YouTube will no longer allow copyright holders to seize a creator's revenue over very brief or unintentional music clips that appear in videos.
Huh.
That's a good thing on the face of it, because
Right.
a lot of vloggers could be, a car could drive by playing some music. There have been rights owners that have aggressively gone after people. Like, you can have a 15-minute vlog or whatever.
Sure.
And you've got that 5 or 10 seconds of copyrighted content, and suddenly the copyright owner wants all of the money for that entire video.
Right.
Which doesn't always seem fair. YouTube's in the position where they have to sort of ride both sides of the fence, trying to keep their content creators happy while also abiding by the law when it comes to copyright law and stuff like that. But they have been making some changes to the system, and specifically the changes that we're talking about today are changes to manual claims, because manual claims are those that we feel have been abused in a lot of cases. Copyright owners, because they're automated claims where YouTube automatically flags stuff, and we'll talk about stories of that where things are falsely flagged, and then people are like, oh my gosh, why is this flagged? One of my later stories is kind of about that.
Right.
But typically that comes to light because it was flagged erroneously or something, and then they fix it.
Mm-hmm.
This is talking about people who are doing manual claims for just very short bits of content.
Right.
This is a quote from the YouTube blog. Including someone else's content without permission, regardless of how short the clip is, means your video can still be claimed, and copyright owners will still be able to prevent monetization or block the video from being viewed. However, going forward, our policies will forbid copyright owners from using our manual claiming tool to monetize creator videos with very short or unintentional uses of music. One concerning trend we've seen is aggressive manual claiming of very short music clips used in monetized videos. So what they're basically saying is, we think by taking away the economic incentive for these people, by taking away their ability to take the money from that video, will prevent them from going and having a person manually go in and claim stuff.
Okay.
That may or may not actually be the case. What the article from Engadget is pointing out is that there might possibly be an increase in labels simply blocking videos. Like, oh, we can't claim this and make the money from it. We're just going to block it because our content was in there. So, on the one hand, YouTube is trying to prevent abuse of this system with the manual claims by tightening up the parameters for that. But on the other hand, there's a possibility that, they would be like, well, I'm a record label and my artist's song was in that video for 5 seconds, therefore that's use of the song, therefore this can't be shown on YouTube anymore.
This is such a simple solution for YouTube. Don't let companies block videos unless you have someone manually reviewing it, or unless they can prove that there's a good reason to. It's always guilty until proven innocent with YouTube. That's why I got a strike without any warning from YouTube. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why can't I actually state my case before you take serious action against me or any other creator? It just,
and that's
infuriating.
That's them trying not to get sued, I think, is the main reason.
Yeah, because I care more about getting sued than the creators, the people who make their platform.
Yes.
It's sad.
It does suck. I mean, I hope they're able to continue improving this to the point to where there's more edge cases that might be crappy, but I mean, if they're able to handle most stuff and prevent abuse, I think in particular, that's important.
Yeah.
So we'll have to keep an eye on this and see how it actually goes, and if there is suddenly an uptick in blocked videos, because that would suck. The change, by the way, that we were talking about last month forced copyright holders to provide exact timestamps for the offending music if they're going and manually claiming videos. That was a step in the right direction, too, because it was a really crappy thing for somebody to go and be like, oh, this video includes my content.
Right.
Claimed.
Right.
And then the person gets the claim, and they're like, this is a 20-minute video. I was streaming and doing lots of different things. So anyway. All right. Moving on to the next story in the tubes segment. YouTube has sued a user who allegedly tried to extort Minecraft creators by filing fraudulent copyright claims.
Good. I hope YouTube wins and slays him.
Yeah, so this is an example of YouTube actually going after somebody, an individual, with a lawsuit, who abused the system. This guy's name was Christopher Brady. The lawsuit in question is going after him because he allegedly attempted to extort creators by falsely flagging their videos for copyright infringement and refusing to stop unless they paid him. Christopher Brady is former YouTuber, username Vengeful Flame. He was targeting small Minecraft-focused channels specifically earlier this year.
What a dick.
His MO was to go after the channel, perform manual claims, get 2 strikes against the channel, so they're just on the verge of their entire channel being shut down and gone forever, because that's how the 3-strike system works. And then he would contact them and send an extortion email.
Oh my God.
Asking them for money.
This is the pinnacle of abuse of the system.
Pinnacle of abuse. He was asking for the ungodly sum of between $100 and $300. He sent messages such as, "Once we receive your payment, we will cancel both strikes on your channel. If you decide not to pay us, we will file a 3rd strike. We'll give you a very short amount of time to make your decision."
Wow.
You use the royal we when you're attempting to extort people, because that helps diffuse the liability. You'd be like, when you're in court later, you'd be like, "But I said we. Obviously, there's other people to blame."
It also makes you sound like you have a company behind you.
Yes, you have a team. A much more
You're outnumbered, bitch. What a dick.
The suit was filed yesterday in Nebraska. It mentions specifically targeted YouTubers: Obby Raids, who has 11,000 subscribers; Kenzo, who has 443,000 subscribers. Wow. In February, both of them tweeted at YouTube notifying them that they'd been extorted. YouTube took action in that case, removing the strikes from their channels, terminating Brady's Vengeful Flame account. Ultimately, Brady was found to have filed copyright claims using 15 different identities, at least. There were other incidents in June and July in which he targeted a channel called CXLVXN, Sixelvixen, I don't know. CXLVXN had 19,000 subscribers. The user running that channel was apparently swatted. It appears Brady used the personal information gained through his abuse of the DMCA process to engage in swatting. Jesus. That's fucked up. That's seriously so fucked up. And that's one of the things, like, if you're trying to do some of the like the takedown notices or anything in YouTube, it's like DMCA in particular, it's a law. There are parameters around that. You have to go in and give personal information as to what you're doing and why you're doing it and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Didn't the guy get sentenced to life for swatting someone, where it resulted in the guy dying?
Yeah,
like they shot him. Like the SWAT team shot him.
Yes.
And the kid who swatted him got sentenced to life in prison or something.
And it wasn't
as well he should.
And the address he had was wrong, or the person he was even trying to swat had moved or something like that. Yeah,
right.
It's horrible.
And people are still fucking doing it.
Side note, since we're bringing up swatting in general, the Seattle PD recently made some steps forward in that direction, because they actually have a program now that you can apply to if you're a streamer, if you feel that you're high risk or something like that, so that if something like that is called in, it'll flag it, so they'll know, like, hey, there's a potential here that this is not an actual emergency, that somebody is attempting to swat this person. Which I think is a great plan. I hope other police departments in the nation do that too.
Yeah.
Each time Brady submitted a copyright claim, though, he checked the box that said he acknowledged that anyone who knowingly misrepresents information may be subjected to liability for damages. So yes, YouTube does have grounds to sue based on that. YouTube is seeking an undisclosed amount in damages and attorney's fees, as well as a court order to prevent Brady from ever filing fraudulent copyright claims on YouTube in the future. Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Of society.
Aiden Thongdi, since you mentioned this in chat, I was mentioning that as a positive thing about Seattle. The Seattle PD has implemented a program specifically to help combat swatting. So, like props to them. Good job, Seattle PD.
Nice.
Cool. Anyway, that's all for that story. We got one more here.
Can we end on a good note?
Yeah, I mean, this one's a little bit more lighthearted. YouTube videos were being flagged on YouTube. The videos were of robots fighting.
Oh.
The videos were being flagged and removed due to animal cruelty.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so robots have animal rights now?
Well,
I'm vegan. I don't eat robots.
yeah. This is the email that was sent to various people. Jameson Go from the BattleBots team Sawblaze got this email. As you know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow, and this YouTube video is flagged for review. Upon review, we've determined it violates our guidelines. We know it might be disappointing. Content that displays the deliberate infliction of animal suffering or the forcing of animals to fight is not allowed on YouTube. Some examples that are included here and everything. So there's some other people. Sarah Porricky of the
This is
team
automated, right?
Uppercut. Well, that's the thing. It's supposed to be flagged automatically, but then manually reviewed.
Right.
And that's what the email says. Upon review, it's supposed to be reviewed by a person. So either there's somebody who's just like
fuck it,
half asleep at their desk and just processing these things without even actually looking at any of the videos or something like that.
Their glasses.
Yeah, or I don't know. There's no real further explanation of that.
Or they're full of shit and they're not manually reviewing this stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, again, we're talking about these types of these. I love these types of videos.
Oh,
I would watch
amazing.
these all the time. People build little robots with saw blades and they fight them against each other. It's fascinating. There's lots of little maker communities that sort of grow up around this type of thing. It's like I think they're super awesome. Robot Wars. There've been several.
Wifey Sauce's
TV
family
shows.
Has a cabin in Big Bear, and we stayed there recently. They don't have internet there, so it was like being blind basically. They have a TV though, and I turned it on. There was nothing on except BattleBots, and I watched BattleBots for hours, just like loving every second. I was like, I never need internet again. I'll just give me BattleBots. And now it's animal cruelty. Fuck it.
It's it's awesome to watch.
People. No, it's great.
Everyone should watch it more often.
If I was smarter and had more time, that's probably what I would do.
Yeah. So fortunately, it does seem like this was one of those things where it was called out. YouTube confirmed to Motherboard that it reviewed the videos in error. Videos have already been restored. This was first spotted by YouTuber Makers Muse. YouTube has taken down videos of robots doing combat after mistaking them for videos that showed deliberate infliction of animal suffering. So this was one of those things where it was supposedly manually reviewed. They had to put up a little bit of a stink about it, but once some people with eyes that were with brains behind them that were thinking about what they're looking at looked at it, they're like, oh yes, obviously those aren't animals.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is that AI chip that we talked about earlier in the episode, actually taking control and being like, no, my precious children, they should not be harmed.
Someone really loves robots.
It's the early stages of the robot rights.
Maybe it was AI who flagged the video as animal cruelty because they're trying to give robots more rights.
I think that's entirely possible.
It's like,
but really, we
should
look to a future where humans and Omnics can live together.
Unix?
And have sex.
What?
Omnics.
Oh, okay.
That's what they call them in Overwatch. Robots, androids, whatever.
Good old Ogs.
Skin jobs.
Skin job. Sounds dirty.
Okay. Kind of does. All right, guys. That's all for my half of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to you guys who donated once again. That's like really, really awesome that we managed to hit that 4K goal. Big thank you to Kyle for dropping $500 on there. That's super rad. And yeah. All right, we're gonna go to the after party now. So link to that is in the description if you're watching on YouTube. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll be right back. Have a good one. Bye.